Hello friends, it's a pleasure to welcome you to Holly Lolly's channel. Today I decided to talk to you about such a topic as inconveniences that don't exist in Japan. And the first thing I guess I wanted to tell you about is Konbini. They are just such unique stores that really don't exist in other countries. 7-Eleven, Lawson, Family Mart, and others that have absolutely everything. So you can buy absolutely any set of groceries around the clock. You can make yourself a photocopy, you can order documents, buy tickets to some events, send parcels. This is especially noticeable when you travel from Japan to other countries. For example, in Europe you go to these small stores that are near your home. There are not always fresh products, the choice is limited, and they do not work at any time. And the other functions that I mentioned above, you can't do there. And that's why, back in Japan, I just love Japanese Konbini because it's everywhere. You don't have to go to a big supermarket that's far away. But you buy everything you need in walking distance, do your business, and go home happy. The next point I wanted to mention is also a little bit about shopping. In Konbini and even in supermarkets you can warm up any products you want. For example, if you bought noodles or coffee, you will be asked at the checkout if you can heat up the food. There is often a kettle where you can also heat water, pour the same instant vermicelli, make tea and coffee. And all this is free of charge. There are places where you can eat your food and immediately throw the garbage into the Konbini. Yes, I've said in other videos that Japan doesn't have garbage cans around the city, but you can throw your trash in the Konbini. Another little convenience is having your groceries packaged for you. For example, you come with a basket to the checkout and do not put anything out. The employee will take it all and pack it in a bag. In the Konbini you will also be given chopsticks or disposable cutlery in the amount you need. The next inconvenience, which does not exist in Japan, is the lack of toilets. I never get tired of saying that I adore Japan for the fact that there are free and clean restrooms at every turn. Here I am in a park right now, recording a video for you, and there is a free toilet, men's, women's. There will always be a changing table so that if you come with a small child, you can change his diaper there. There will always be plenty of toilet paper. I have not seen a single toilet in Japan where there would be no toilet paper. It is always put with a reserve, 4 to 5 rolls, so that you can change. Here they are not afraid that the toilet paper will be stolen, but they treat the customers who come here very reverently. Even in the temples there are toilets. Here they are very afraid that they will write a complaint that there was no toilet paper in such an institution. Also very often in public toilets there are machines selling pads. If there is an emergency, you can buy pads in the toilet and use them immediately. And the next item I wanted to talk about is the high-tech toilets at home. These are toilets that include a lot of features in them. Heated seat, built-in bidet, music sounds. By the way, music sounds in public places also help people to use the toilet comfortably. If you need to mask some sounds, you turn on pleasant music. And you know, this heated seat with bidet function is so pleasant and familiar at home that when you just go abroad and sit on this cold toilet, you jump at the first time. And our relatives came to visit us recently and I showed them Japan. And even they said it's so cool to have this heated lid with these features. Said they really want to buy one for themselves and take it home. There's no mud in public places, even when it rains and snows. I realize that snow is very rare in Tokyo, but rain is very common here. So it is particularly pleasing that in public places everything is very perfectly clean. When you go into a supermarket, into the subway, it is always perfectly clean. What makes this happen? Well, first of all, I read that the floor is made of some special materials that are very easy to clean. Also in many establishments at the entrance there is a double space where you can shake off the raindrops from your clothes, umbrella, and also use a free disposable umbrella cover. You just show up, shake your umbrella, slip it into the cover, and go about your business. That way there are no puddles, no mud, and people don't spread it all around. I paid attention to the next point when I came to Japan as a tourist for the second time. When I arrived, my oldest son was still young and he was in a stroller. And the first thing I appreciated was that you can move everywhere barrier-free with a baby stroller. Wherever you go, you still encounter difficulties like steps and you think how to go down or up with a stroller. I'm not even talking about people with disabilities, they face this problem all the time. But here in Japan, everything is as well thought out as possible. There are elevators everywhere. You can go down, go up, even if you have heavy bags or suitcases. And also, importantly, when you enter a subway car or if you use a bus, there is a special ramp. Here, if we are talking about the bus, the driver gets off and literally takes 2 to 3 minutes of time to lower the ramp. I know there are already automatic ones, but I haven't seen them yet. But usually the driver gets out, takes this ramp and helps the person to get in. Well, and accordingly, when the person needs to get off, then also with the help of the ramp, he can easily cope with these barriers. And in the subway, there are employees who help a person in a wheelchair to get into the car. And also at the station where the person gets off, the employees radio each other and tell them that the station needs to meet the person. And he comes to a special carriage where there is a ramp and helps the person to get out. Then, from the amenities, there are ice machines. You take a free bag, pour as much ice as you need. And also, for example, if it's hot outside, you can carry food that needs to be stored in the freezer in this ice. You take a bag, fill it with ice, take those goods that need to be stored in the freezer, calmly carry it home, and it will not melt. Or if you want to cool a drink, you can use this machine for free too. It's very comfortable and well thought out. The next thing I wanted to mention is the fast shipping. For example, Amazon or domestic parcels in Japan are delivered in 1 or 2 days. And I especially like the fact that you do not have to go to the post office to get the package. Always, in any case, the courier brings it to your house. You don't have to pull the parcel if it's still big or bulky. Maximum comfort. If the parcel is paid in advance, they always leave the parcel at your door. Sometimes some couriers ring my doorbell to make sure that the parcel is definitely for me. But that only happens because of my foreign name. I wanted to show you a funny thing like this. I wrote by my door that please leave parcels here. And one courier just stamped after a while that he left the parcel. And then the other couriers also began to sign that they leave my parcels at my door. Next is vending, which is on every corner, literally. I know Japan is the leader and #1 in making vending machines and specifically in distributing products. Here you get so used to it that you can buy any kind of cooling or warming drink. Or even hot soups can be bought in these vending machines. And the products in them are very inexpensive. Earlier in general, almost all vending machines were 100 yen each. Now the price varies from 100 to 140 yen. The maximum convenience is that they are everywhere and the selection is huge. And again, you get used to it, you don't notice it, and when you leave Japan, then you really appreciate it, because you can't get a snack so quickly and easily. Next is the Pasmo or Suica payment system. I took it from my friends to show you how such a card looks like, because Pasmo is enough for me personally. I say in many videos that this is not a system like Apple Pay. Not everyone has heard of it, and you can't pay with it everywhere. It's inconvenient, but they have these cards that other countries don't have. Here you put money on the card and then you can pay for transportation, pay in combinations, in supermarkets. It is accepted almost everywhere, and you can buy anything. The next thing is that here in cafes and restaurants they bring free water or tea, sometimes even matcha. And also such a distinctive feature if, for example, you ran out of water there, the waiter from afar will see it, will come and refill this drink, which you ran out. In general, you do not need to call someone separately, it is very convenient. But for me there is a small disadvantage. I am a person who is very careful about my throat. I don't drink any drinks with ice. And here, in summer and winter, they always bring you drinks with ice without even asking. You either have to ask for it separately, or I just take the ice out into another glass. It's easier, because my drink is ready right away and I don't have to explain anything to anyone. And the Japanese are very surprised when I ask for a drink without ice. No one asks anything extra, but you in the eyes of the Japanese always read bewilderment, a bunch of question marks that how this person does not want water with ice. So to avoid shocking the Japanese in any way, I just take the ice out myself. Also, speaking about the amenities that are in Japan and not in other countries, I wanted to mention that there is a small feature in restaurants here. There are always mock-ups of the food at the entrance, and you see the mock-up of the dish that will be on your plate. It is not a trick, but as a demonstration that the dish will be exactly like that. It happens in other countries that the picture shows one thing, but they bring another dish that does not look like what it should be. But here in Japan, the dish will be exactly the same as on the layout. It's very convenient, because you can immediately assess whether you want to eat it, whether the portion is not too big for you. I also like that some cafes and restaurants have a system of service through robotic automatons. You come to the institution and through a special machine choose the dish you want to order, pay, get a check, go into the institution, give the check to the employee, and after 5 to 10 minutes you will be brought a delicious dish. And also, speaking of such small pleasures, it is that, for example, in the supermarket at the checkout there are machines where you can pay yourself. Very often there are such awkward moments, when there are a lot of coins and you are somehow ashamed and uncomfortable to count them. It is easier for you to give a banknote, so that this queue, which stands behind you, does not wait for you to count your pennies to pay. And here there is a coin acceptor, where you just throw in your change, and the machine counts everything and spits out the extra back. It is maximally convenient, and you don't need someone to wait for you there. You don't need to frantically quickly calculate these coins. Friends, I tried to make this video as rich as possible without any unnecessary information. I am very interested in your opinion, what from my video you were surprised and what you liked. Perhaps you would like something to appear in your country? Write in the comments, let's chat about it. You know, it actually makes me sad that all of the things I mentioned are absolutely some things that could easily be done in our countries. But unfortunately, they are not done for some reason. In fact, if each of us starts to make some changes, it seems to me that in general our city and country will become better. What do you think about it? I really hope you enjoyed this video. Appreciate my efforts by liking and subscribing to the channel. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in next videos. Bye bye!